Dzogchen Today podcast.
Hello everyone, I'm delighted to welcome you to the second episode of this special series dedicated to the universe, the Dzogchen and Us. I am Niels, your host, and we are recording from the place of La Sauveté in south of France, dedicated to the Dzogchen practice and supported by the Dzogchen Today project. In this podcast episode, we may finally discover what the mind is, how it interacts with the body, and how the universe listens to everything. No, I'm joking, of course, but only at joking, because we're even going to talk about energy and elements, maybe? Would you believe that the tradition of the Great Perfection has something to do with Game of Thrones and Hunter x Hunter? Me neither. So for this podcast, I am very pleased to welcome Mila Khyentse Rinpoche.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and Damien Brohon.
Hello, nice to be here.
Thank you very much. And Mila Khyentse, you are a trained scholar, consultant and teacher of Dzogchen, and you are a lineage holder.
Yes.
Damien Brohon, you are an art teacher, an artist, and an author. You have also been teaching Buddhism for many years in French-speaking countries.
Exactly.
So let's jump into our topic with this first question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In the West, we are used to search for the origin of everything. There are main two scientific fields that are today at the forefront of this topic: biology, with a search for the origin of life, and astrophysics, with the origin of the universe. Where does Dzogchen stand on these 2 points? Is there a Dzogchen cosmogony?
There is, actually. So if you just check the traditional texts, the ones from Dunhuang, for example, which are the most ancient ones, the cosmogony of the reality of the universe for the Dzogchen tradition is that of an egg. It's called the cosmic egg, and or the universal egg as well. But the cosmic egg is the most well-known name. So everything starts from this egg, not a chicken egg.
Yeah, it could be a little bit.
Yes, it can be
strange,
confusing, but
confusing actually.
It's really a cosmic egg. So it's more or less related to a kind of Big Bang. It's related to an original sphere of what we can call the first primal material thing that will constitute the universe, which is the primordial aspect of space. And this space will just give birth to all what we call the 5 elements constituting the universe. So from this primordial space or primal space, everything is rising, and it starts by the most abstract element of all, which is space, the physical space.
Physical space, okay.
And from this physical space just emerges, just rises the air element, the wind element.
Okay.
And then from the wind element arises, either way, depends on the text, the fire element or the water element. And from this element, finally, arises the earth element, which is the what we can call the solid aspect of the reality, like the tables, like our body, like everything else, which is material. And so this really traditional cosmogony of the reality of the universe for the Dzogchen is twofold. It describes the origin of our human reality, the origin of the universe as our natural home. And on the other hand, it also describes the unfolding of this reality in our own minds, because for the Dzogchen tradition, the mind is at the origin of everything.
Okay.
So we can say that this origin of the universe is twofold, is coming from the mind, but appearing in an outer space, in something that is not, at the first glance, it's not what we can call the mind, but it's the reflection of our mind in a material aspect. So it constitutes our ordinary experience, our material experience. So for the Dzogchen, the universe is out and in at the same time.
Okay, like if it's like the mind will reflect in a mirror, and reflecting in the mirror, it becomes physical, tangible.
It can be like this.
Okay.
But also for the Dzogchen, this usually for us, the reflection of in the mirror is not real. We know that it's a mirror;
That's
it's just a reflection.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like the manifestation aspect of the reality is so real that we forgot that it's just an illusion. And so we are completely certain, we are sure that what we live is the reality. But for the Dzogchen, the reality in itself is an illusion, because this reality is the mind reality, not the reality from the material aspect of, or the aspect of the human being life. So this is a crucial point actually in the Dzogchen tradition. The origin of the universe, the reality of the universe is not separated from the mind, and its origin is in the mind. So the mind is the true nest for all the universe.
And story continue.
It goes on.
It goes on. Yes.
Okay, it's a nice story.
Because this basis is kind of unfolding, which is completely primordially free.
The mind is unfolding.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Free and empty and clear, in a non-dual way. What appears seemingly as outer and what appear seemingly as inner have no real duality. They are coming from the same origin, same source. You say in English source? Yes, origin. But the beings either recognize that, and that's what is called the primordial Buddha from the origin.
Okay.
Who has never been deluded.
Sounds great like that. Yeah.
In the first place, we can say
Okay.
the origin for what it is in a complete non-dual way. Either they see that as some object and they are a subject, kind of object-subject duality. There is something out there and me, I am here looking at this thing out there, like the world, me. And this duality takes certain form, you can say, according to certain tendency. If that's anger, because this unfolding of the ground is fearful, this will create, a world of anger, a world of fear, like hell.
Okay.
That can be that. And that's a world in itself. Or it can be...
The world of the hell.
The world of the hell, yes.
Okay.
Which is one world coming from not recognizing that. But the human world is also another possibility.
Or the gods,
Or the gods, or animals, or you say the preta, the kind of avid ghost. There's many hungry ghosts. Yes, thank you. There's many possibilities. Each of these possibilities is coming from a dominant passion, emotion, you can say, that is informing a specific world.
Okay.
So everyone is living in his world, you can say, karmic world, meaning karma is the action and the intention associated to this action that is building, like modeling, you can say, a specific world. So in the same time, we are in the same world because everything coming from this origin, but each one of us is kind of stuck in his world, in his, we can say, karmic vision.
Yeah, it's the same dimension for all the beings, but all the beings are just accessing it in a different way. So this is the big difference between all the human beings first. So the way I see the world is not the same as you, and it's a complete also different experience when you talk about different beings, like the goats, for example, like the hungry ghost, like the animals, like the hell beings. So every being will access the same dimension, but in a really different way, by not only by defining it, but by experiencing it directly. There is a common saying that, for human, water is water. For the hell being, it's poison. It's really gross. For the god, it's nectar, and so on and so on.
So that's the same universe, the same reality, but we can see it from a different point of view. That's the point.
Sure. So you can say it's the same universe, but the realities are completely multiple. Because the reality comes from the way you experience the same universe. So it's all the time really interesting to speak about dimension. So you are experiencing into a dimension. The dimension is the same. It's the space, for example.
The first.
The first element.
Form, the first element of the of the beginning of the universe.
Exactly. And then the way you're experiencing it is according to your own condition, your own karmic tendency, your own habits of experiencing and differentiating the reality of the universe. So it's your own reality and not the reality for the other beings. It's different.
And this difference is going through our emotions, or is that, or the elements, or what's the difference we can have between, for example, me as human being, you maybe as human being, but especially as another kind of animals or other beings. What's the difference? Is that elements? Is that emotions?
This is you are talking about the unfolding of the reality, and from the elements, the Dzogchen is really clear about what is the next evolution of these elements. It's what we call it the 5 aggregates, but we can say that it's the 5 emotions, for example, the 5 main emotions, which are ignorance, desire, attachment, anger or hatred, jealousy, and pride. And all these constitute we can say the more psychological part of the elements. It means that it's a translation from the reality of the emotions into the elements, and the translation from the elements into the emotions. So
like a mirror? Or?
It's not like a mirror. It's like experiencing the qualities of the elements. For example, for the earth element, what we experience is the solid experience. So whatever is connected to this solid experience, we just translate it as human being, for example, as an experience according to the emotion corresponding to the earth element.
Understood.
So for the earth element, usually for the Dzogchen, it's pride. Pride being, the way to be alive and to be alone, to be alive, for example, on this earth. So
I wanted to make this joke. Sorry, want to be alive.
You can say that, but I'm not sure it's working here. The only way is that as human beings or as other beings, we experience the elements which constitute the basic reality of the universe as something else, not the elements, not the primordial elements of the reality. And so we, in our experience, we experience them as emotions, as thoughts, even sensations. When we feel hot, the link is really obvious. It's just connected to the fire element. When we feel like really connected to the ground, it's the earth element. So everything in our experience is translated, is just adapted to our human condition, which is a bodily condition. And this bodily condition just translates the elements into our own condition. So again, fire is just related to hotness, to be able to feel this the warm in the air, for example, or the warm in the body, etc., etc., etc.
So this would be the connection, the link between the body and the what experiences this reality, the mind, maybe, or
yes, because there is a fixation of the mind on these experiences. We give them their concrete aspect that makes them into a body, that makes them into a world that seems very stable and
really real.
Exactly. And this is a system, you can say each of these 6 worlds is a system that wants to reassure himself, to reconfirm itself. It's like a very cyclic in a sense. And sometimes, of course, there's some breakthrough, and that's the goal of the spiritual practice, that free us, at least for some time, of this kind of patterns.
And you can go back then to the primordial elements.
Exactly.
Of the reality.
You can see, yes, as the elements, you can see them as light and no more element. You go back to the origin. Because this origin is not just something that, what we are talking about, is not just something that happened back in the past. It's happening in every moment.
Right here, right now.
And right here, right now. By the practice, by the view, we can go back.
The universe is beginning at each second, each instant? That's what you said, or?
You were talking about light, and actually, the cosmic egg we started with. It's its own nature. It's real nature.
Okay.
It's constituted with. It's a bit strange to say that, but it's made of light and emptiness, and these actually are the main characteristics of the primordial mind. So the primordial mind is the enlightened mind of all the beings, but it's also the origin of the universe. So the thing you said, saying that each second or each this is not really by second that we can calculate in terms of Dzogchen about the mind, but more about consciousness instant of consciousness. Just moment of consciousness, and each moment of consciousness there is a beginning, there is an end, and each beginning in the Dzogchen tradition we say that all our experience just go back to this cosmic egg, to the reality of our own mind, primordial mind, which is light and emptiness. And emptiness, it's not related to some mental state, like depression. It's not emptiness this way. It's emptiness connected to our real nature, because our real nature is completely beyond all manifestation, and each each moment of consciousness, we can just be aware of the beginning of each time of consciousness, and the beginning of each time of consciousness, it's this cosmic egg. And each time we finish this instant of consciousness, then we just go back to this cosmic egg.
Wow.
So this is...
It's cool.
It
Say
is.
like that.
It can be cool, but you are talking about path, Dzogchen path.
Yeah.
So this is the Dzogchen path. To be able to go back to our primordial nature each time at the start and the end, all the time.
It is like a little bit like a big bang for I don't know, but I try to compare with what we know. So
what do you think?
In a sense, I guess there is no opposition between these two models.
Okay.
They are fitting.
What do you mean?
I mean that there is this sense of expansion, apparition, expansion, manifestation, and also the idea that there's also this theory that after the Big Bang there will be a big crush.
Yeah.
So what we are talking about in terms of world system, multiverse, or as well as individual, is something like that. It's like a cosmic dance of mind and matter, you can say, that is appearing and disappearing as well. In that sense, there could be some comparison between what the Dzogchen tradition say and the modern notion of the Big Bang.
But the only limit is that Big Bang and Big Crunch are comprised, are inside a space and a time. But the reality of the mind is not, is not defined by space and the time. So it's a bit like the zero instant. There is a zero moment
before the Big Bang.
Before the Big Bang and after the Big Crunch. It's related to that point, but the Dzogchen says that it's all the time like this. It's not because there was a Big Bang and there will be a Big Crunch that in between it changes the nature of the reality. Why there is the manifestation? Why the primordial aspect wouldn't be the same as it was before and that it will be after. So this is why there is a big difference between the primordial view, we say in the Dzogchen tradition, which is the primordial reality beyond all kinds of Big Bang and Big Crunch.
And body
all
and
the time.
mind.
Body, mind, elements, etc.
Okay.
And the definition that time and space just unfold between the Big Bang and the Big Crunch. There is no limit for the Dzogchen view, actually.
Okay, so what you're saying that we can experiment this primordial egg everywhere, every time.
Yes.
So
all at once.
Wearable, yes.
Okay.
This can be a bit, how can we say, sideral, like
the first question was not so. It was just about cosmogony of Dzogchen.
Sure, but cosmogony is about primordial reality in Dzogchen. So it's all the time connected. But we can ask ourselves how the hell in our daily life we can experience that, talking about primordial space, primordial self, or primordial whatever.
Tell us please. No, it was not my last question, but actually
we can just say that if we are interested to do that, we should take a path, whatever path it is, a path to being able to know how our mind works, what kind of function the mind has, what is the relation between the mind and the body, for example, because we are all the time completely in our bodily experiences.
Stuck.
We are stuck
into
and
that.
usually we do not know a thing about the mind and how it works and what is its real nature. So if we want to know that, then we have to discover it, and to discover it, we have to just walk a path, which allows us to recognize what really is our own mind. So, and this is a really big paradox for the human beings. You know, it's our own mind, but we do not know a thing about it. It's you know, it's something that it's a bit strange. When you think about it.
Unknown and like.
And so the best way for the Dzogchen tradition is to just you first ask yourself about the reality of the world, then the reality of yourself, then what is the relationship between these two, and then you just concentrate your vision into, okay, what defines my experience of this reality? And where is it coming from? So this is the starting point of the path. Asking yourself the profound, deep questions about the origin of the reality and the origin of the self. Because usually it's just about me with the rest of the world, or me with the other human beings, and relationship, and
with my car.
Exactly. So usually, what I do to define myself is with the surroundings, with the beloved, with the people I hate, etc., etc. But it's never me with myself.
Okay.
So I need to do that.
So.
Usually it's a bit difficult for a lot of us because we never did that really. But it's really the beginning of the path.
It would be like instead of looking outside or interact maybe out with something out. It would be like looking inside. Dealing with us.
Exactly. There's a quotation of Tulku Rinpoche. He said that samsara, meaning the perpetuation of suffering, is the mind turning outwardly and lost in its projection, and that the nirvana, that is beyond suffering, is the mind turning inwardly and recognizing its own essence. So that's what we do in many ways in different practices of Dzogchen Tempo. And maybe a good question could be, I am my body. Just that. And
I'm not sure to follow you.
Am I really my body?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And what before, after this body? And
am I only that?
Am I only that? And if I am my mind, what is my mind? Is that emotion or something else? Or is that I'm seeing the world, or is that I'm seeing my version of the world, my own private world, that I think is the world? This kind of introspective, contemplative question can help to make this kind of breakthrough, to go beyond our karmic vision. And that's the key for real freedom.
And sometimes, in the Dzogchen tradition, you can also just walk the quick way, just bumping your head on the door and then having a direct experience. It can happen as well.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, let's go bump our head on the doors.
Yes, on the egg.
Don't do that. Don't do that at home. Well, so thank you very much. That's a great place for us to wrap up. So
thank you so much.
Very pleased to have you for this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to everyone, stay tuned for the next episode of this mini-series, the last one. And we will discuss about Frodon, Gun, and Luke Skywalker, and if we can choose our destiny or not. So stay tuned.
Nice one.
And thank you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.
You can find more episodes on your website, dzogchentoday.org. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review us on your favorite podcast app and share it with your friends. We will be pleased to receive your feedbacks on podcast@dzogchentoday.org.